Welcome to Inc. TV. I'm Rod Kurtz. We're on location today at the Inc. 500 conference in Savannah, Georgia. And I'm joined today by Tony Hsieh. He's the CEO of Zappos.com. Tony, thanks for coming in. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Tell us, for some of our viewers who may not be quite so familiar with Zappos, I mentioned off camera that I'm a sneaker junkie and a big fan of the site, but tell us how you started Zappos and what the site is all about.
Well, our founder, Nick, was actually walking around a mall in San Francisco in 1999 looking for a pair of shoes. And he went to one store and they had his style but not the right color. And then he went to another store and they had the right color but not the right size. And he basically spent the next hour walking around the mall and eventually went home empty-handed and frustrated.
I've done that myself, yeah.
And so he went online and tried to find the same pair of shoes and couldn't find them either. But the other thing he noticed in his online search was that while there are a lot of mom and pop shops selling online, there really was no equivalent of, at that time, in Amazon for shoes. And so since it was 1999 and people were starting internet companies left and right, he decided to start an online shoe store. And that's kind of how Zappos was
born.
Yeah.
You mentioned the founding in the late 90s. How did you survive the tough times that sort of got all the other .coms?
It was very, very hard getting funding, and we actually didn't get funding from any traditional VCs. There were some friends and family, and it was very difficult and stressful at that time, but I think in retrospect it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it really forced us to do things more efficiently. It really forced us to focus more on the customer and the service that we provide.
And you live to tell the tale as a result,
yeah.
Sure. One thing we were discussing earlier too was the emphasis that some companies put on the aesthetic of their website, the design of their site. Zappos is very functional, I think, because you can find what you're looking for very easily. How much focus do you put on visually how good the site looks versus just getting the job done, essentially?
Yeah, I guess we focus much more on what actually matters to the customer. And our company today is all about providing the very best service. And so a lot of that is not actually in the website glitziness. Definitely we do focus on the website navigation. But a lot of our efforts are also focused on our warehouse operations, getting the shoes to the customers as quickly as possible.
Because that's all that matters to people, right?
And well, that and providing 24/7 customer service in terms of a toll-free number. And
Sure.
so one example is, I think a lot of websites try to hide their information, whereas on our website, our 1-800 number is in the top left corner of every single page on our site.
What would you say is the breakdown in terms of volume with people buying online versus people just getting the number from the website?
Probably the vast majority actually make their purchase online, probably 90% or so.
Okay.
But a lot of customers call in with questions, and our customer service people help them, and then they may turn around and go make the purchase themselves online.
That's interesting. How many people do you have on staff now?
Including, we actually have 2 locations. Our corporate headquarters are in Las Vegas, and our warehouse is in Kentucky. And combined, it's about 600 or 700 people.
Just to wrap here, Tony, wondering what you think the biggest challenge facing entrepreneurs is today, and whether it's something you've seen as your company has grown to a great size, about 700 employees. You mentioned that often that in and of itself is a big challenge, but I'm wondering from your experiences, what do you see as a big hurdle ahead?
I think the biggest challenge is just hiring the right people and making sure that you maintain that same culture that was there when the company started. I think.
How have you done that as you've grown?
Just being very careful and slow about hiring. For example, in describing our culture to potential hires, we actually have something that we publish every year called our culture book,
okay.
Where every employee writes a few paragraphs about what the company culture means to them. And we compile it and unedited except for typos and put it into a book and give it out to new hires, our vendors, existing employees. So before people coming into the company, that's a way for them to see if Zappos is a good fit for them.
Where'd the name come from? I should have asked this at the top.
The Spanish word for shoes is zapatos.
Okay.
And so we just wanted a word that didn't really mean anything. So
product of the internet age, absolutely. Yeah. Great. Well, Tony, we appreciate you coming in and joining us here at the conference. We've been talking with Tony Hsieh. He's the CEO of Zappos.com. I'm Rod Kurtz, Senior Editor for Inc.com, and you've been watching Inc. TV. Thanks very much.